nukes.
Let me pull up this story. We'll start getting into more hard politics. This is from the Daily Mail. 2 Russian fighter jets that violated Swedish airspace earlier this month were equipped with nukes with the aim of scaring Stockholm. You know, it's certainly a story you could lead with for a show, like, oh, Russia deployed nukes. At this point, I am desensitized to these stories. And we talked about it yesterday. Vladimir Putin reportedly, travels to nuclear bunker. And as we're getting into it, I'm just like, yo, I am desensitized to this. They have fear-mongered and screamed and banged on things to the point where I'm like, whatever, dude. I got a bucket full of beans. I'm not going to cry and complain about it. And what do we even say when every day they're trying to push some Ukraine war, Joe Biden,
Well, you know what's sad is the minute I saw that, I didn't believe it because,
right.
I'm just kind of at that point where I'm numb to it. And I feel like we've been told so many lies by the same people for so long. And every time you bite and believe them, you end up really regretting it.
I mean,
and so my first question is, what's the intelligence on that? Who said that this is the fact?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows what their aim was? I mean, you'd have to have Russian intelligence confirming.
Yeah, you would have to,
aim.
or have some sort of visual confirmation. I didn't read the story, so I don't know what they're saying is backing up this claim. But
they're just reporting it. It's them. It's their intelligence.
Yeah, and I have no respect for it at this point. There's nothing I can say except for that. You can't even assume it's true.
It has emerged.
It has emerged. Emerged from where?
Is Daily Mail
is this like the Loch Ness Monster?
Is this company Daily Mail like a shock content? Because I see interesting stuff come out of Daily Mail that other people don't report on.
Yeah,
but then you get
it's
Joe Rogan threatens, and it's like, well, I mean, he was warning. I thought it was more of a warning, but they phrased this as a threat.
They're a little bombastic.
Yeah, okay. That's
a little
what I'm
bombastic,
wondering.
but there's real stuff there.
Yeah, sometimes I think they don't go far enough in how they describe things. Sometimes I think they frame it wrong. Sometimes I think they go too far.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Does NewsGuard give him 100?
No, not 100. I mean, maybe actually.
Well, see, that's the thing that I try to
64.5.
teach my own kids about consuming media and news in general is that they need to do what Tim just did. Critically think about what each one of these places you're reading from actually does. What do they do? What are the mistakes they make? So that when you're consuming the information, you can do so in a manner where you can kind of parse out, this might actually not be wholly accurate, but they're pretty good with this stuff, so that's probably true. And then go to somewhere else that is good with the stuff they're not good with, and you can kind of fuse it together for a real understanding of what you're probably getting.
Let's be real, though. Let's be real. If right now I got a CNN alert on my phone or a video from CNN went on all the TVs or wherever, and it was Brian Stelter himself saying, ladies and gentlemen, a nuclear missile was fired from Russia and is currently heading towards the north towards the United States, I'd believe it. If CNN came out on TV and Brian Stelter said an ICBM has been fired and it's being tracked and headed towards the U.S., I would believe it. Well, I should put it this way. I would act as though it were true is a better way to put it.
I don't know. If that potato went on TV and said my birthday was February 27th, I probably wouldn't believe it.
Well, that's different, though.
Even though it is my birthday.
but that's different. Like, we're talking about a missile headed towards the U.S.
Maybe Jake Tapper, I'd believe it. If it was Jake Tapper, maybe I'd believe it. I feel like he wouldn't lie about that. He'd lie about a lot of other stuff, but maybe not that.
I like that you phrased it as you would act as though it were true, not necessarily believe it face value, but take evasive action. If someone's going to go on national TV and make that claim, that's a big enough claim for me personally to take seriously, regardless of where it comes from.
Probably wise in the case of a nuke. I'll give you that. But if he said it about a virus, I'd be like, no, I'm not biting on that.
Any non-immediate thing, I'm not going to make a snap jump. I'm not going to jump to activity because of what CNN just told me.
Yeah, I mean, if Brian Stelter, posted a Twitter video and he said, intelligence is reporting an ICBM headed towards the East Coast, I'd be out the door and I'd be like, let's go to our secure location and act as though it's true. And then if he comes out later and he's like, whoopsie, I was watching War Games or what is that movie with
Matthew Broderick?
Yeah,
War Games? Yeah.
Talk about burying the lead. I'm pretty sure you just confirmed you have a nuclear bunker.
Well, I didn't say nuclear bunker, but we have a secure location.
I mean, you kind of inferred possibly or implied nuclear bunker.
We have a bunker. Exciting. I'm not entirely sure it can withstand a nuclear blast.
Would you guys ever move into one of those bunkers where they launch like space shuttles out of and stuff?
You mean the
move
ICBM
into
silos?
it just for fun?
An old silo. Yeah, like live there.
No, I have a beautiful farm, so I'd stay there. I'm staying on the farm.
What about under your farm?
But no,
you
can
in a nuclear war. Oh, absolutely. I could.
So
I could survive anywhere if I had my wife, my kids, and my dogs. I'm happy. It doesn't matter where I am.
You can buy nuclear ICBMs, silos, missile silos. They're not necessarily nuclear silos. And there's like 16 floors.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
But if you set up the farm up top, you go down and you have this big cylindrical mansion.
I could live with that. It
looks like really cool, but I think that's more fantasy. When you get there, it's all grungy and like mold and
It
smells,
sounds like a great idea till you smell it, right?
Until
That's
you
probably
can't see the
it.
sun.
I know.
Yeah.
And you get vitamin D deficiencies.
Yeah.
And depressed all
Welcome
the
to my
time.
world, my gosh.
Man, these dystopian sci-fi movies where people are in like this underground room with TV screens for windows. Yeah. And they we're there basically,
Well, it's amazing how many people have vitamin D deficiencies. I know that's totally off topic, but I was just talking about that with somebody the other day. It is incredible the number of people who don't get the right stuff that their body needs.
I was also like, if you could somehow get sunlight underground with mirrors,
all
the way,
then you're
they're
in
like,
business.
you lose fidelity on every time it bounces off the mirror. So you'd have to use like sound to guide the light, and you might be able to guide light down tunnels with sound.
Yeah.
So you could like have daylight underground with sound.
What?
Sound waves can guide photons without interference, as much as interference as they found with matter.
Yeah, but it's got to be an immense amount of energy, I'd imagine, right?
Probably, I'm sure. I don't know that much about it.
Just mirrors.
And I don't want to take away from your vitamin D talk, because that's super. I've actually been taking a vitamin D supplement.
Yeah,
I got
too.
From
Me too.
the InfoWars store lately. Vitamin D and vitamin K, I think it is.
From Jones himself.
Mr. Jones.
Mine's from my doctor. Mine's from my doctor, but it's therapeutic because I feel like people need to really boost this stuff. It gives you so much energy, makes you feel so healthy. I'm not making a go talk to your medical person about it. I'm not telling anybody to go do it. But
if you're not getting out and getting enough sunlight,
it's so good for you.
Oh my gosh, I was just in Washington State over the weekend, and the sun was amazing because it's not like a desert. It's kind of a desert. It's like a mountain desert. Man, that sunlight just nonstop. Yeah, I highly recommend if you haven't been out in the sun.
Vitamin D is underrated.
Big time
underrated. People, you get sick. I remember when I was younger, I'd ask people like, how come you don't really see like pets getting sick as often as people do?
Yep.
And maybe it's not true for some people. Maybe you get a dog who's sick all the time. But I remember growing up, our dog was almost never sick with anything. Yeah. And it's like, well, maybe because the dog doesn't interact with other dogs and humans interact with other humans. That's a good reason for it.
Dogs do weird stuff too. Like sometimes you'll find them like nibbling on a rock or something like that. It's because they actually can kind of search out what they need and they'll get the minerals somehow. They're going to try to find it, and their body just knows, know. And I think that's why you see that. They're funny little furry creatures. They're smart.
They can smell cancer. They can smell strokes.
Think about how incredible that is. Dogs can sniff out cancer.
That's crazy.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wonder what that
or
is.
Or smelling the stroke before it happens.
Yep.
Or
incredible.
a seizure.
Wow.
Yeah. These videos where like someone's about to seize, they're epileptic.
And they catch them.
Yeah. The dog will jump on them and then lay down, and then they'll be like, uh-oh. And then they'll start.
Yeah.
Unless it's the dog causing the seizure.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's a new conspiracy. I haven't heard that one.
It's the word God spelled backwards. You think that's on purpose?
They're God's gift to us, so maybe that's his way of letting us know this is my gift to you, because there's nothing better than dogs. We've got Great Danes and they're the best animals. Anybody who's ever like been confused about what type of dog to get a Great Dane. They're the best, even in an apartment. They don't love exercise as much as people would think. They're couch potatoes, but they will give you so much love.
I have I don't have a hate relationship, not a love-hate. That's a little extreme. I got bit by a dog when I was like 6. It was eating, and I got too close to it, and it jumped up and bit my face and ripped off. I had to get stitches, and it was real traumatic. So I've kind of had like a distrust of dogs in general. I think they're psychopaths.
That was in fact actually a Democrat in a dog suit.
Turned out they were just dogs, yeah.
No, it was a Democrat in a dog suit. So you're distrusting the wrong person.
And I'm no longer a Democrat.
Yeah. It was a young Adam Schiff.
I think a joke, by the way, for all his lawyers.
Once you learn how to like the dog's language, and don't get your face next to it while it's eating. If you know some basic dog things, I think they're phenomenal.
Oh, they're fantastic. Like our dogs. I was telling Lydia earlier, actually, I trust my dogs more than humans. With my kids, there's certain people where I was like, if you had to leave them with the Great Dane or that person, who would you leave them with? And I'm like, probably a Great Dane most of the time. They do the job a little bit better.
Kind of crazy how we went from 2 Russian fighter jets with nukes to dogs are
the
great.
importance of dogs and family.
Well, somehow we went to vitamin D and then dogs and then dogs
living underground,
babysitting.
Nuclear war. Is that what this?
Because you're going to need a dog babysitter in nuclear war if you're in a bunker, just so you can get 5 minutes
also
alone.
Vitamin D supplements. Probably,
yes, you're definitely going to need those. We really wrapped that up.
I think this is all. No, okay. fear propaganda, all the war junk. I've heard that is Ukraine actually going to cede Donbass and the eastern region?
That's what they're saying.
I think they have to for this to end. I think that's where it's headed.
Wait, was it that Russia's ceding those back to Ukraine?
No, definitely not. No, they're not going to cede anything.
The media keeps reporting how Russia's losing, but then how Zelensky's saying, okay, we're going to make concessions and give you what you want.
I do think that's where we're headed. I think probably 2-3 weeks they'll have a final deal. That's just my, not based on any intelligence or anything else, just my gut feeling on this in that situation there. I think they're going to have to give that area up because in reality, Russia wants a buffer. And, they're not going to stop making everybody's lives hell until they get that buffer. And I think that with the administration we have, they know we're toothless. We're not going to do anything. They're just going to go and take what they want.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.